All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into this YouTube video.
Okay.
It's from Philosophy Pulse,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called The Simple Truth About Personal Growth That Nobody Tells You.
Mm.
Kind of catchy title.
Yeah.
We see a lot of this personal growth stuff
Yeah, for sure.
out there. So I'm interested to see what they have to say about becoming more and how that can change things in our lives.
Right. Yeah. And it starts off, pretty strong. I think they make a really fascinating point right off the bat.
Okay.
It's that, we don't need to change our circumstances
Yeah.
to find happiness or to find success.
Uh-huh.
It suggests that real change actually starts with, internal shifts instead.
Internal shifts. I like that, but
Yeah.
it's kind of vague.
It is a little bit vague.
Can we get a little bit more concrete?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, imagine you're facing this, crazy deadline at work.
Yeah.
And you're just completely overwhelmed.
And there.
Right? So an internal shift could be, learning to manage your stress response better. So you're not as overwhelmed by that deadline. You could break down the task into smaller chunks so it feels more manageable.
Right.
Or maybe even having a more assertive conversation with your boss about your workload.
Oh, that's a good.
So you see, you haven't actually changed the external situation.
Right.
The deadline is still there.
Yeah.
But you've changed your internal tools for dealing with it.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's not about pretending challenges don't exist.
Exactly.
It's about equipping ourselves to handle them better.
Yes. And there's this great quote from the video that really captures this idea. It says, "Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills."
Ooh, I like that.
Right. Instead of wishing things were different, it encourages us to focus on becoming more capable.
Okay, so I get that. But I can't help but think, isn't focusing on personal growth a bit,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, selfish?
Okay.
Shouldn't we be focusing on, helping others, making the world a better place?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think sometimes we get caught up in that.
Yeah.
It has to be one or the other, but it's not really an either-or situation.
Okay.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
If you're completely drained and exhausted, how can you possibly help other people?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So cultivating your own resilience, your empathy, your problem-solving skills, that allows you to actually be more present and more effective when you are supporting others.
Interesting perspective.
Yeah.
So it's if you want to help change the world, you got to start by changing yourself.
Exactly. And that's what the video goes on to emphasize, this idea that personal change can be the catalyst for wider positive impact.
Give me an example. What would that look like in the real world?
Okay, so imagine someone who's terrified of public speaking.
Oh, yeah.
But they decide to face their fear head on and join a Toastmasters club or something. So they develop that confidence and those communication skills. And then those skills spill over into other areas of their life. They might become more effective at advocating for themselves at work.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Right? Leading a community initiative or even just expressing their needs in personal relationships.
Wow.
So that one internal shift creates a ripple effect.
That makes me think about when I was feeling creatively stuck.
Okay.
I decided to take this online course on this new art technique I always wanted to learn. And it did. It helped me break out of that rut.
Nice.
But it also gave me the confidence to just try new things in other areas of my life.
Totally. And that's the kind of transformation the video is talking about. It's
Yeah.
not just about acquiring this new skill,
Right.
but it's about the internal shift that comes with it.
Yeah.
Increased confidence, the willingness to try new things, step outside your comfort zone, the belief in yourself.
Belief in yourself.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That you can grow and change.
Yeah. So many of our listeners are probably intrigued by this idea.
Yeah, I hope so.
What's one concrete step they could take to cultivate that more in their own lives?
That's a good question. I would say think about an area where you feel limited.
Yeah.
Or a challenge you've been avoiding. What's one skill or mindset that could help you navigate that more effectively?
Okay.
Maybe it's learning to manage your time better,
Right.
or developing your emotional intelligence, or becoming a more effective communicator. Just pick one thing and start small.
I love that. Start small.
Yeah, you don't have to do it all at once.
Right.
It's fascinating to see how those small changes can actually lead to big shifts over time.
This has been a really thought-provoking deep dive.
Yeah, it was a good one.
So to sum it up, it seems like the key takeaway is that focusing on personal growth isn't just about self-improvement.
Right.
It's about empowering ourselves to create positive change in the world around us.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final thought.
Okay.
As you work on becoming more in your own life, think about how those changes might ripple outward. How might your personal growth contribute to a more resilient, compassionate, and just society?
That's something to think about.
Definitely.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.